I think we've dissected the findings of your study. So explain how that leads into, if you, hopefully you'll divulge a little bit on this. I want the audience to learn more about Hire Henry. Okay, in the partnership between you two on that. Kind of break that down for us if you could.
Yeah, of course. So one of the things that is very, very important, especially going forward, is to recognize that there aren't a lot of options for commercial robotic lawnmowers currently available. And, Joe and I, we've talked about this from a high level, but we can even dig into this a bit now. Husqvarna and a lot of other manufacturers that are making robotic lawnmowers, their extent to which they're designing their products for specifically commercial landscapers is limited. So we think that as more robotic lawnmowers become available, particularly taking the technology and merging it with a business model that's going to provide that ROI for commercial landscapers, that's going to be a huge selling factor. So that's one of the things that we focused on after doing the study, is being sure that we're developing technology and a business model that's going to have the ROI for the landscaper immediately involved. What's your thoughts on that, Joe?
Yeah, so I agree. So I think with the current setup, you've got to take, this is what I've been doing. I've been taking what's already there and making it work to gain the market share. But my eyes are constantly open on the latest, greatest solution for the industry. And, I think it's an opportunity for people like us. And when I say us, the people all of us, all the four of us, because we're so early to the game, right? I think it's almost like I feel like it's our duty. One of the reasons we have this podcast is, since we are early to the game, to, instead of hoard the knowledge, to kind of explain and expose the best and the worst of the technology, but then to realize it's not every piece has to be all inclusive. So there's going to be a robot that works best, in the yards that are an acre and a quarter and under. Okay, there's going to be a robot that works best for municipalities, and you have to just be willing to keep your eyes and mind open to the endless possibilities of the technology, and then I think you'll be able to capture everything the space can offer. That hopefully that doesn't sound like a big, but that's how
it made sense.
All right, good. I was literally just spitballing there. It was literally flowing out as I thought it, but that's it. Yeah. So
there's going to be robotic lawnmowers, to your point, Joe. It's going to work best for some folks, and there's going to be other ones that work best for other folks. The most important thing is keep an open mind, look at the different mowers, and see what works best for different landscaping companies, because there's so many different ways that the technology can be approached. And one of our key takeaways, I think, if you want to walk away with one tidbit to consider from our research findings, is that look at the robotic mowers and consider developing a department or a small unit within your landscaping company that's going to take on the challenge of incorporating technology within the business. And we've met landscapers that have already done this. We think it's very, very impressive. It's a good way of approaching it, but assign at least one person the task of looking at battery technology, of looking at software, of looking at robotic mowers. And maybe that person is a younger person that you see has a lot of potential to one day take over the company or be in a senior management position. But it solves so many different challenges by approaching it that way. You get a 20-year-old that wants the clout piece. So now they're saying, I'm CTO of X, Y, and Z landscaping company. They can go out there and they're advocating for your company, and then you're doing a lot of training and leadership development to get them to the next level. There's different levels of autonomy, when you look at, for example, self-driving cars. So, and I'm going to get into the way that we've decided to approach developing our robotic lawnmowers here after this statement here. But there's different levels of autonomy. And right now we're seeing those levels start to progress, and we're going to see them all continue to get better over time. Our approach has been one single goal, which is to develop a robotic lawnmower that's indistinguishable from a human operator on a zero-turn lawnmower. So that's in terms of the operation. How well does it mow in straight lines? That's the cut quality. We want all of that to be indistinguishable from a human on a zero-turn. The second thing that we really wanted to look at is how are zero-turn lawnmowers already designed? And as us being mechanical engineers, we wanted to break that down to first principles. So why is a zero-turn lawnmower the size that it is, right? Well, a lot of it is because it's carrying around a 200-pound person all day. So if we get the 200-pound person off, then maybe we can make the size a little bit more compact. Maybe we can make it safer, and maybe we can make landscapers more efficient as they're moving their lawnmowers around. And of course, we've seen RC mowers that have already started to move that direction, where they've taken a large zero-turn lawnmower type structure and made it a lot smaller. So we think that there's going to be a lot more of that going forward, and that's one thing that we're excited about and that we're focused on improving.
George, can I want to expand on what you said about the size of the mowers.
Yep.
So, this has happened in all of our service industries. It's happened in the snow removal industry, and it's happened in the landscape industry. Okay, and what it is this: as the cost of the equipment gets more expensive, okay, it's more expensive to manufacture and distribute equipment, and the cost of the labor increases. Okay, so like you said, people are on average hiring at $13 an hour. But if we went back 10 or 15, maybe 20 years, it was probably $7 an hour, right? So how do the landscapers compete when the cost per acre of mowing seems like it's been the same? I mean, I started doing this in 2005, and the cost per acre of mowing, it's like pulling teeth to get an extra $5 an acre. And actually, I've been seeing it decrease with all these, national or, big national bids that go out now. And I don't even know if you guys have seen, but like a guy like myself compete in online auctions. So what'll happen is you put in your best price first, and then people just keep low bidding, and then you have to enter it knowing this is my basement. I can't go any cheaper than this, right? So how do you do it? Well, now instead of doing it with a 48-inch stand-on unit, I need a 72-inch because I need to be able to mow a bigger chunk in one pass. That's why the equipment is so large. And it's important to talk about in automation. You don't need it to be big if you can do it more efficiently. It's all about robotics, and automation is about efficiency and less about moving mass. Snow removal, same thing. Instead of having an 8-foot snow plow, you go 20-foot box pushers on big, heavy front end loaders. So anyways, it's something else that I just wanted the listeners to think about, because I think it's an objection that I hear as a dealer from people I talk to when I show them the pieces we currently have. Like, that thing is way too small to do this. And it's like, you got to get size out of the equation. So anyways.
Agree. And I'll even build on that and say, even for landscapers that say, I need a 72-inch cut or I need a 60-inch cut, I believe we'll see robotic mowers that'll be able to have that size that's needed for making a cut pass, but still does not need to be as large as a zero-turn lawnmower. And that's one of our focuses, is making sure that we can develop something to deliver on that point. Now, that's a differentiating factor because there aren't a lot of robotic mowers that are focused on doing that. But in addition to that, since there's going to be a range of autonomy levels for these different robotic lawnmowers, we know on the front end from the conversations that we've had with landscapers is that a lot of folks don't want to have to stop whatever task they're doing, whether that's trimming, whether that's talking to a customer, whatever the case may be. They don't want to stop their task and have to go and tend to the robotic lawnmower. So one of the things that we're focused on is having remote monitoring with our robotic lawnmowers. And what this means is that there'll be an operator that's able to monitor our robotic lawnmowers in real time. And if the robotic lawnmower does approach a certain situation that it doesn't know how to handle, the remote operator can tap in and say, hey, here's how you can handle that situation. And the operator has all the important features that they need to make that decision, like camera feeds and stuff like that. So and that's being done already, by the way. In military drones and in mining equipment and manufacturing, there's somebody sitting in a room and they're looking at, 100 different machines out in the field. So we think landscaping and robotic mowers are going to eventually go that direction.
And also, it also gives a level of safety to the landscapers and a feeling of, there is somebody behind it. Like, this is not going to take over like Black Mirrors and Netflix type of movie. But like, it gives a safety factor. And even like sometimes humans make mistakes. Robots probably less likely than human. That's for sure. Less likely than human. But having an extra pair of eyes watching over the technology is always a great safety feature to be having for robotic mowers.
Absolutely.
Well, and it's important to add for people that don't understand robotics like we do. When a robot or an automatic piece of machinery encounters an issue, its program makes it stop. It just stops. So it's important to know when you guys are talking about your concept is, it sounds to me like your guys' thought process is, okay, so the person checks in the machine, uses the cameras that are around it, figures out what made the machine stop. And if it's a bird that flew past it, we know we can override that reset and let it move again. On the flip side, if there's a 5-year-old kid that thinks the machine's cool and keeps running circles around it, we leave that machine sit until the kid gets bored and walks away, and then you run again. I think that's right. That's the thought process.
Exactly it. That's spot on, Joe. Yep, absolutely. So in addition to that, I'll say, a lot of different business models will come out to deploy the technology, the landscapers. If folks want to learn more about the technology that we've developed or some of the business models that we've considered, go to hirehenry.us. We got demonstrations of our fully functional prototype on the website where you can see it working. You can schedule a virtual demo or an in-person demo where we can show you more about what we've been working on. But this is an exciting point for the industry, I think.